Hey there, Virgo. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you are new to this channel, click that subscribe button down below, baby. It is free as always. And as always, I'm happy to have you here. Lighten your load, brighten your sky, whatever, shine your star, I don't know, but to encourage you and to love you and to be in your best, bold, bright, beautiful self, getting you to step forward into who you really are. Okay, so Virgo, there's some stuff going on. And you let me know there's some work needing to be done. Like here we have the 2 of Wands and the 4 of Wands going on, and there's some things to get set up right now. The idea and kind of how you're going about it seems to be right, but there's a little bit of control issue going on. There's a little bit of being concerned about the environment around you. Is like, are there some sharks? Maybe you're having some ideas that you're not so comfortable fully sharing, or they don't seem to be panning out completely, because those who seem to be, oops, sorry y'all, I still got mess on my hand. Anyways, who are supposed to be here to help are just kind of standing there, and you're having to run the show and tell them what to do. And that's not a lot of help, is it? It's kind of like having a child, right? And that's a full-fledged adult here. And even underwater, they have their life jacket on. Okay, so either it's you or someone you're partnered with, but is the evidence of fear being about. It's kind of like being petrified and paralyzed by the situation and the environment, instead of realizing action is already being taken. And there's some great discovery wanting to happen here. Wanting to no longer just have to jellyfish, but to rise to the top. And this is great because 4 of Wands is something that usually represents desires, dreams, dream fulfillment, dreams coming true, contracts, commitment, marriage, that type of thing, equal partnership. But there's some work being done here. And as you can see, it is focusing very much on the partnership and bringing that in and getting it fully established and connected. And it says, yay, that's what we got going on. But there's also this bit of a sidebar. Some dragon energy sitting down here, which I have no problem with that. Again, wands, and swords. Okay, the pips are swords. So we have a bit of that going on, but it's showing me. So this is just some background. We'll dive into the actual cards in a minute, but this is like framing up some of the mind things going on. And it's like, this is like off-gassing, digging through a bunch of crap to try and get to the good stuff. You can see this is a harmless environment, but it's working around to try and maintain the status quo, the system of what has been going on. That brown chakra energy, the muddying, maybe some things that were stirred up from the past, that type of energy going on. And it has a lot to do with earth energy as well, because you can see the earth plane here, and it's going against the grain, doing it the hard way. Can you see it using ropes to climb downward, but diving down, okay, through the air and the dirt? That's what you do in the water. So let's see what happens if we turn this right side up. Well, your spirit begins to soar, and progress is being made, and there's cooperation, there's systems going on, there's establishment going on, and there's enough to get a grip on, to get a hold of, to make the progress necessary. And spirit's got the other half taken care of, which is great, because that was not what's going on here in your mind and what you're seeing and what's really going on. But yes, so this is kind of going along, facilitating a little bit of this and letting you know there is cooperation, help coming in to make the full connection here, to make all the pistons fire so that this thing can get up and go and can take flight. All right. So top of the food chain, baby, no worries. Because see, down here is like feeling like the bottom of the food chain. Like, is anyone going to help me out? Help you out of this mess that's been going on, okay? But it is definitely 2 to tango. So let's not get any finger pointing or whatever else that is. We have different personalities here on Earth, and that's part of what you're talking about here, 2 of the angles, okay? The ascending and the descending angles of the 4 angles, all right? So you could look up 4 angles birth chart or 4 angles natal chart. So look up the ascending and the descending and what that represents for you, and you can find out where it is on your chart. But that comes into this Ace of Wands. Oh, you're flying around on little brooms. One of you's full of magic, and the other one's quite practical. I like this transition turn that we brought in here. And one is a protector and one is a nurturer. So that is divine contentment going on here. Satisfaction, protection of the treasures. So this one has This one has a little bit of bark that you would think it's bite. So that can make you slightly apprehensive going on here and wondering what is going around. Or maybe this is you and the other person draws back. But the thing to know is in the nature of the octopus is the nurture at all costs, even to their own life. All right. Their life source. Thus the muladhara, the red, the power, the battery. They will wear themselves down and wear themselves out trying to get a point across to you. So if you find that you are the dragon with the sharp tongue, the bark and the bite, pipe down a little bit. Give it a little space and time for this one to speak up and really hear what they're saying, and do it from the heart and know that they're speaking from their heart. They're really trying to come together as a team. That's why it's showing up as red. And they're wanting this to work. So if you'll listen into it, lean in from where they're coming from, trying to contribute, trying to communicate, trying to connect, okay? Then things won't get so fiery, because this seems kind of like a spark and kindling, and the two, and it just can flare up and cause a whole bunch of jizz going on. The mess you got to clean. It's muddy in your clear water, your clarity, all this vibrancy, your environment. This is your abundance, okay? So let me just tell you like that. You want to mess up your abundance and make your work hard? Then go right ahead, need I remind you. Okay, but when we get in alignment with spirit, we begin to soar. When we begin to recognize and respect ourselves and respect each other and realize we're all at different places on the journey. No two people see the same rainbow, because you cannot be standing in the exact same footprint out of the same eyes at the same moment. It's not that way. So they're talking about cooperation coming in here. Okay. So, and it's the same that brings in the perfection, the coming together, is realizing that you're on your growth trajectory, well as ascending and descending. And there are two ways to see it: hindsight and foresight. So foresight comes in and realizing that, oh yeah, we can kind of spark it off and kind of get in each other's grill and thinking I'm right and they're wrong, or they're right and I'm wrong, and whatever else. And it's just all wrong. That's what I know. It's all wrong, and the temptation is to keep seeing it that exact same way. But Spirit is here to bring some balance, to bring some opening, and to restore the love. Okay, so here we have the King of Discs coming in. This is a practical and a pragmatic love. It's really emphasizing being a good listener, a long listener, so no interrupting or butting in. Now, sometimes I'm fine when I'm having a good time talking with people. I don't mind when they do it, because I call it interjection. It's like, you know, feeding into the same story, but it's never disruptive. But when you have a tendency to kind of want to correct or to hurry up what they're saying, or that type of thing, or vice versa when it's happening to you, slow down, take your time, really lean in and listen, okay? Take a bite. Give them that opportunity to share, and you will gain so much insight and wisdom here, which this is talking about intuition, but we also know we have the eyes going all the way along. This is lining up at your intelligence, and this is lining up as your intuition and being able to know and to understand, facilitating the two going together between that space in the mouth, okay? Slow to roll. I love you. Mwah. So with that, we had these spill out. So it's interesting. Wait, how did you look? Just like that. They looked like a spread, like a hand, like a game. Hopefully there are no games going on, because see, when there are games and there are two of y'all, you have to be on opposite teams, and it's competition. In a competition, in a relationship, in a connection, business, parent, child, lover, whatever, no one wins. Okay? A relationship is a unit, a team. Okay? And there we're not competing, we're complementing. So focus on that, all right? Strongly on that. And that begins to, pardon me as I point out, power up the situation. This is where the seed comes from, okay? And we want good seed. We want things to be fertile. We want them to be abundant. See, that's showing the leaf on the apple. Fresh fruit, fresh produce, fruitfulness right within your reach. Because remember, all this abundance, all this fruitfulness. So the moment you get a handle on this and manage it, it begins to ease off and ease down, and spirit can begin to soar, and the clarity comes and the juiciness comes, and you remember why you like each other, or what you do like about each other, and it makes it easier to navigate these waters and to take the resources, because you're showing me something off in the veil, the fog, the mist, trying to come forward into your consciousness, okay? So let's see what we got going on, since this is a bit of a spread, but it's coming this way. So you're coming first and pushing up about, tell me your secrets. So there's a little bit of suspicion going on, a little bit of guardedness, and wondering to like keep a little bit of an advantage, a leverage to yourself. Now, when you do that, that's not a genuine connection. There isn't such. because the connection is the unit. All right, that's being disjointed. It's just like on my necklace that I have on, there is a clasp in the bag. The clasp is what holds the whole unit together. One part is a ring and one part is the connector. Now they're both connectors. One is not better or greater than the other, okay? Just like here. It's a complementary relationship. And when you hold them apart and you disconnect, which disconnect is by choice, it's very healthy, right? When there's an attachment is when we have a problem. That's when there has to be extreme friction or intervention to cause things to separate and come apart, and there's always damage. So when you realize this is choice-based and to service the all, then you have the whole necklace, all right? So trying to keep an advantage or whatever is, man, you're having to disjoint from the unit, from the benefit, okay? But we're looking for the reward and the benefit here, and you're telling me, what's up her shorts? Well, we were talking about long listening. The long and the short of it is, take a look from a new perspective, okay? Because this was talking about the wisdom, your intelligence, and the intuition, that coming together and realizing that you can learn and grow, and you have a lot to learn there. And it does power you up, and it gives you a different perspective of maybe not quite having compassion, but maybe some understanding of where they're coming from. And that begins to construct this connection and bringing it together. But this really begins to restore your connection to yourself. So what you're letting us know here is this was an outplaying of what was going on internally, all right? And so when we begin to recognize that, we don't have to play games anymore, or we don't have to play with the karma in our chart in order to learn hard lessons or to do it the hard way, or the way that's extremely costly. We can just begin to surrender and to connect to ourselves, into our spirit, into the science and the teaching that's all around us, that we have that personal freedom, playfulness, and growth. Not like tests, it does away with tests. When you realize tests are done away with, our mind and our capacity to learn opens up dramatically. Big Papa's lighting up in the 8, connecting to yourself, and he's coming in alongside to help facilitate this partnership, this dunamis power, the knowing thyself, when your sun and your moon align, and there's no more confusion or projection or that mud or that crap or that shaztastic nasty shizdiz going on in there. And that brings in this whole new what? Star. Mastery. When you master, when this star comes in as being elevated above your chart, it's like this here, living in the divine intelligence of your destiny and your divinity coming together. We created ourselves before we landed here. We knew our chart, and then you begin to realize that the way you designed yourself, these personalities and the way they are, was for the benefit of yourself. So it's not to be worked against. It's for us to understand what's coming forth from it so that we can be masters of it. Like fire can be destructive or dangerous, or it can be facilitative and helpful. Think about it like that, okay? So let's see, under this star, we have total victory. The 6 of Wands coming in, and more than that. This is a 6 of Wands. This is a fulfillment also, this particular deck, of the 4 of Swords, the coming out of the 4 of Swords, of the healing, of the reflection. Like quickly, when you go to this, it literally, the game is over and it goes boom, boom. So you're going to taste victory right away. I mean, you're so close. You're so close. It's not like you have to do anything right or whatever else. It's just you had to stop the spark, the fire, that temptation to clash, to compete as opposed to complement. And that brings you into this balance and this divinement and this enlightenment and this ease and this lift, just like that here, okay? The fulfillment of the restoration, of the healing, and the power on. Okay, your pilot light comes back on, and you got hot water again. You can choose on one hot or cold, and you can enjoy the full flavor of life. Now, friends, leave me comments or compliments down below. Titillate those little buttons. Save to a playlist. Share with somebody. Share with yourself. Share because you care. Get this Joy of the World message out so they too can listen and learn, tune up in their own soul, in their own self, in their own dialogue and language that they understand, that spirit can come alongside and help them know how to move these channels within themselves, okay? I love you. Talk to you soon. Bye.